discussion about using fiber optics to move electricity from South Africa to Nigeria. That conversation failed. But today, South Africa is doing load shedding. And the question is, much as we blame apartheid and all the rest, and yes, we should blame apartheid. But what has happened that's made South Africa suddenly come to a point where they can provide enough electricity at the rate at which it was before? And all over Africa, that is a major concern. But you find that the areas of North Africa substantially have been able to largely conquer the electricity dynamics utilizing solar. And that is a challenge, and that is something that we all need to pay attention to. Let's have the next graph. This graph tells you that we have very many components of energy supply, whether it be wind, biomass, solar, nuclear, hydropower, hydrogen, or geothermal sources. And if we all universally commit in Africa over the next 20 years to try and achieve energy parity, we will move from a 25% provision to about a 95% provision. What it says that, like I said, when we say we're poor, the reality is that we're too rich. And maybe the fact that God provided us so much wealth under the ground made us a bit lazy in terms of our leadership. And that's what we need to address. The third commonality is digital infrastructure. This is very critical in modern economy. Yet internet penetration in Africa remains low, with significant disparities between urban and rural areas. Expanding digital infrastructure is essential for integrating Africa into the global digital economy, fostering innovation and improving access to education and healthcare. Infrastructure development is a common issue that hinders economic progress in African countries. Statistics are very alarming. Inadequate infrastructure reduces Africa's growth rate by an estimated 2% each year and costs business productivity by as much as 40%. With only about 25% of Africa's road network paved, lack of paved infrastructure means that we really cannot move goods and services everywhere. And if you look at the diagram there, it's very explanatory. You have a road infrastructure, that's the social impact that it has. Change in level of interaction, change in level of integration, change in levels of residential placement, and change in level of crime. Because if you have social impact, change in access to facilities and services, and change in land uses. Economic impact, change in level of employment opportunities, change in land values, change in trading activities, and all that. So it's absolutely critical. The other commonality is leadership. Leadership and governance are pivotal factors that influence the trajectory of development across African nations. Effective leadership is essential for creating an enabling environment for investment, fostering innovation, and implementing sustainable development policies. However, many African countries struggle with political instability, corruption, uneven distribution of wealth, which are inextricably linked to poor leadership. Addressing these issues requires a strategic approach focused on building strong institutions and promoting transparent accountable governance. And if you, like me, have had the privilege of serving in government, the first question people ask you, so when you were there, what did you do? How come you didn't help us solve some of this? And I think that the problem with Africa really is that if you have a sole player in a myriad of negative performance, you're going to continue to have problems. And it is important that our presidents, in choosing people to work for them, must create a band of skilled people. As you go through various institutions all over the world, be it in the medical field, be it in the legal field, be it in the entrepreneurial field, be it the CEOs who are managing some of the strong financial institutions, Africans are prevalent. Africans are doing well abroad. Why do they do well abroad? And yet you can't get it moving here. It's an issue, a game of numbers. We have trickles of very talented, skilled people placed in positions of eminence to try and help drive direction. And so the fact of that it gets swallowed by the politics of the day. You could make a few changes here and there, but you never get to the delivery table. So it's a numbers game. And if we today decided as leaders of this country to take a 20-year portfolio and ensure that the very best of Africans, whom we have, actually get into positions of eminence in governance, we will do well. I've heard it said so many times that the better way would be to just focus on